Well, ladies and gentlemen, we do have right here the immediate next day debate autopsy where I go through everything that happened. Things certainly took a turn last night with them seemingly setting Biden up, almost like they roofied him, honestly. I'm being serious. At the beginning of that debate, Biden was totally out of it. You've got Republicans saying, I'm shocked they didn't put him on anything. Oh, he was certainly on something, especially at the beginning of the debate. If you watched the first statements he made, there was no pause between periods. It was just all a conjumbled mess. He's got the 5-second, time where he just doesn't say anything, which obviously is going to go viral. And I would say like the first 30 minutes, he was totally incoherent. And so they said, oh, he improved the second half of the debate, whatever. I think, and I'm going to talk about this, there's like 30 tweets I got to go through. I do think that when it comes to Trump, towards the end of that debate, just answer the questions. I mean, there were several times layup questions at the end of the debate. I don't think Trump necessarily performed bad. It actually really didn't matter what Trump did. He was not the story. It was Biden at the beginning of that debate and how horrible he was. My thoughts are conjumbled right now. I'm sorry, but how about the abortion thing coming up early? Really? That's just... Abortion's like the seventh most important topic. It's like a third or second question they ask. It's just funny to see that. But Biden, horrible at the beginning of the debate. Everyone's coming out. This is the big thing I want to talk about right now. You see the end of the debate, and I was wondering, and I tweeted out, how are the Democrats, how is CNN going to spin this? Because originally, they do their post-debate poll, and this time it seemed like they waited like 34, 40 minutes before it came out. It came out, Trump won the debate 66, 67%. That's probably a low number based on the odds right now. By the way, if they keep Biden in, we're going to see, and I think they will for 2 weeks, they're going to keep Biden in because they don't want it to seem like they're reacting to this debate and immediately replacing him and it was all set up. So they're going to be like, oh, Biden's still our guy when everyone knows they're going to replace him and they've laid the groundwork. You've got CNN and John King immediately. It's like they could not get back from the break, from the commercial at the end of that debate fast enough saying the Democrats have been calling me, since the beginning, since halfway through the debate. They're worried. The whole narrative changes. Van Jones starts crying. Joe, notice the narrative now with these people that loved Biden. Joe, I love you, but for the good of the country now, you have to step down. Scarborough played like a total fiddle, talking about how fit Biden is, swearing at Republicans, saying, oh, Biden's good. And now he comes out this morning on his show and says, we really need to reassess the situation. All of these idiot Democrats who defended Biden and his cognitive skills, I was one of the few people, like a lot of Republicans were saying, well, Biden's expectations are so low, he'll overperform. I said, no, he's just not there. I do think they might have, I mean, he was on something at the beginning of that debate. He did improve over time, but even with him improving, even when he's like on towards the end of the debate, he's still so hard to understand. And it's just, he's simply too old. Now I'm going to go through all of this, but I will say they're going to have to replace him probably within the next 2 weeks, maybe a month. Again, they want to let some time pass because it'll be so obvious that this was all set into motion. You've got people coming out saying the New York Times had almost like a pre-written article talking about the need for Biden to step down. And what you're going to see is just tweet after tweet after tweet and story after story after story as I go down in all of these bookmarks or likes. All the Democrats saying, Joe, we love you, but you must step down. They said the exact opposite 2-3 days ago. It was inconceivable. The polls were wrong. Biden was going to win. And this is all so pathetic. And if they actually do it, this is very important. Trump needs to say this. That is 3 straight election cycles. The big-time Democrats, the powerful Democrats who are deciding these things, do not let their voters decide who will be the nominee for president. In 2016, everyone agrees they rigged it against Bernie. 2020, they did the exact same thing when they made everyone drop out and endorse Biden at the exact same time because they were all splitting votes and it was helping Bernie. 2024, they wait for the entire primary process to end, and then you get this charade. They schedule the debate in June. You've got people coming out saying Trump never should have debated Biden in June. He fell for it. I agree with that. Trump should have said, this is ridiculous. We don't do June debates. I'll debate you in September. I'm not saying, obviously Trump wants to debate him. I get it, but still, it's all a strategy so they've got the runway now in between now and the DNC to where they can have their symbolic change. They can get whoever they want in. My thoughts on Newsom, and maybe there's another video where it's like, who are they going to put in? They're talking about, obviously, Michelle, they're talking about Newsom, and they're talking about Hillary at this point, believe it or not. And there's a few other lesser-known candidates. I don't think they can choose anyone that's not notable. They don't have the name recognition. It's too far. Now, if it was like 6 or 7 months ago, maybe they go with someone like Josh Shapiro, or, in Pennsylvania, somebody like that who's, a little less divisive than someone like Newsom. But I think it has to be Newsom, maybe even someone bigger, because at this point, you're so late in the process. And this is another very important thing that, how about on CNN? See, this is how CNN spun it. It was hilarious. And I love watching like the opposing networks. You watch Fox News, it's just, they regurgitate the same things that like a lot of the stuff that I agree with. So why would I watch them? I like watching people I don't agree with. So on CNN, they come out the first 10, 15 minutes. They say it's a total crisis. Biden needs to step down. We love you. We've got the fake tears. It's so sad. You're such a great, leader and a hero to the country. All the things you've done, all the amount of time you've spent leading us. They do all that charade. They set the narrative. And then you've got that idiot, that fat with the glasses, I think David Axelrod, trying to spin it. And of course, they always have like the token Republican person up there. And he says to him, he's like, if the Democrats, had just a normal candidate, because he's hinting at them already choosing someone else. He's like, if the Democrats had a normal candidate, Trump would be in big trouble. And I wanted to like go through the TV screen. Of course, the token Republican dude doesn't say anything. He's no help. And it's like, this is what I would say to this dude. What are you talking about? Biden has run the country into the ground for 3.5 years, and you guys just think you can say, whoopsie, we're just going to replace him now with someone that has a clean sheet. We're sorry. Don't pay attention to everything Biden did. He's got the lowest approval rating in history. Trump's beating him ever. Don't pay attention to that. We just need a normal Democrat now. They are so obsessed with power, they don't care. You've got people coming out saying the Democrats can't do this. Of course they can. Biden will say he's going to step down. You've got people saying Jill will never allow it to happen. She's got no power. They will trample over her and tell Biden, you step down. And I think it's going to be timed. Now, you could still make an argument. Maybe they'll keep Biden and they'll use it kind of as the second half of that debate was not horrible. They did try and swing it towards Biden and said the substance and like the policies are so good with Biden. That's what they tried to swing it. They're like, well, Biden messed up at the beginning, but the policies were good. Of course, that's mainly completely false. My only criticism of Trump, just answer the questions, especially their softball questions. They're talking about fentanyl and all that stuff. It's coming in through the border. Just answer it. Trump eventually did, but it's like, if you get a question, especially towards the end when you're crushing the dude, it's unforced errors. When you talk about something completely different from the original question, it makes you look bad, especially when you're crushing Biden already. So Trump just needs to answer the questions. They did try swinging it on many of these liberal networks for Biden by saying the substance was better than Trump. It's completely false. It's totally ridiculous. I did think there's some things. It's like, if Trump can just remember 2 or 3 facts and be able to say them, like the inflation rate's 22%, with the immigration, I think it's plus 400% increase since Trump was in office. So there's some things that Trump could do. They might try and say, well, in September, Biden could come back. But the problem is Biden just can barely talk. Even when he's good, he can barely talk. So it's like, and he's so old, he's coming off the stage after the debate, and he has to turn to the side to walk off the stage properly. It is crazy. All right, let's see. This was a good tweet. I'm going to go through. There's like 30 things we know that insiders knew that Biden was like this. How dumb do all those Democrats, the main Mark Cuban, all saying that Biden and Trump were comparable in terms of their cognitive ability? You got played. You're very gullible. It's sad, and you should be embarrassed. But they got played. Scarborough. There were a lot of them. It was like the narrative. Oh, Trump's just as bad as Biden. They didn't have to agree to any debate at all. They certainly didn't have to propose and show up for the earliest debate in history. That's also correct. They proposed it to Trump. Biden came out. There were 15 cuts during a 15-second video because he can barely talk. They had edited it completely, and he's like, I challenge Trump, so that's correct. So they humiliated Biden deliberately, possibly roofing him at the beginning of that debate. I'm not lying. I mean, he came out. He had no clue. It was really bad at the beginning of the debate. Maybe that's just Biden, but he also came out and they were saying he had a cold or something. I mean, his voice got a lot better. Maybe they give him cough drops during the break, but it was his voice was real bad at the beginning, which is obviously a horrible look for someone that's battling questions about how old they are to come out with a hoarse voice like that. And they did admit, they're like, oh, he's got a cold. And how about Biden showing up to the debate? He gets off the plane and people are like, he gained another 10 pounds. Because there were already, like, I was already talking about Biden, like he gained 20 pounds from some type of pill he was on. There's a lot of different side effects to some of these antidepressants, things like that. He was on something, maybe anti-anxiety, and then he gained 10 more pounds at Camp David. Because you can see, I mean, he's got a big gut now, and they gave him something, and maybe it was an overcorrection. We had one physician, the former White House physician, basically saying I was right when I said during this, think about the State of the Union versus the beginning of that debate. Total opposites. They either overcorrected Biden's dose or they did it on purpose. He was rowdy and nasty during the State of the Union, and the narrative was at least the left could kind of swing it like, see, he's not a total corpse. Now, he was really nasty because what they gave him, there were bad side effects. But now it's like, did they overcorrect? He comes out, he's like, well, he wasn't blinking at all, and there were no pauses. It was totally scripted. And someone did say, like, Biden was over-prepared. Like, he had just so much crap in his head, and it was all so conjumbled. He had so much information, and he just couldn't properly articulate the information. So they humiliated Biden deliberately, but only after the primary voters get no say. The third straight time that's happened. Remember, they're the ones that want to save democracy. That's 3 straight election cycles they have. Personally, the top Democrats decided the candidate. The citizens, or the Democratic voters, they get no say. And honestly, those people don't care. A lot of them want socialism, communism. They think the government deciding is better than themselves. They think the citizens need less rights because, we're going to hurt ourselves, so give the government every rights. They'll tell us. They probably like it that the top Democrats and the big-time donors decide for them. Unfortunately, I'm kind of kidding with that, but seriously, some of these people do like that. But only after the primary voters get no say. Yet early enough, pre-convention for the insiders to pick the successor before the fall campaign. And so it's very important for them. I think their convention with the Republicans, it's July 15th. I think Democrats, it's early August. So they can seize back power and momentum. You've got a runway throughout all of July. Send Biden out for a few more speeches. He'll mess up some things. People will question it. It's already in the zeitgeist. It's already in the narrative. I mean, CNN came out, immediately. It's like the one time that they didn't want to show commercials, they're like, we have to change the narrative quickly. And they're like, what are you reporting, John King? Oh my God, I just got a report. We've got 30 different top Democrats calling me saying they don't know if he can run. And the same thing at MSNBC. All those people, the insiders, they're like, Democrats have been calling me like crazy. It's such a threat and a crisis. It's the narrative change. You're seeing it happen in real time. So this is a good tweet. And he is correct. It's all about the timing. The first thing that should have thrown everyone off, and we did say it, the debate happening in June, which is just totally unheard of. It makes no sense. They tried to play it off like, oh, it's early voting and mail-in. That's why we're doing it. But they wanted enough runway because they're not going to take him out tomorrow or the next day. That's going to look bad. They're going to give it some time. Then they'll remove him. You've got the DNC. You've got all the hype surrounding that. The question is, how are they going to do it? And who are they going to elevate? You would have to think it's someone that has a lot of name recognition this late into the game. Because if you go with someone that's unknown, they might get trampled over by RFK. And you might get a lot of these Democrats who don't know who the nominee is just saying, I'll vote for RFK. I know him. He's been in the narrative for, a year now. He was originally running against Biden and then changed to being an independent. RFK is going to help Trump so much. You've got so many of these people that lean slightly to the left. They're not going to vote for Trump. They're never Trump people. But now they're like, this is a total charade. I'll just vote for RFK. So RFK might really just guarantee Trump a victory. I'm not even lying. Based off of it, it's just so different. Oh yeah, here's Scarborough. You don't even have to go 3 months ago. I think it was like 3 days ago Scarborough said the same stuff. And Scarborough, I feel bad for him. He got played. It's embarrassing. If I was Scarborough, I'd be like, oh, It's very sad because he was doing all the talking points. He's fine. He was swearing. He was getting worked up. This is just a nasty dude in general trying to defend Biden when we all see how bad the cognitive is, saying it's all deep fakes, saying people are overreacting. That's the thing with the deep fakes that I never understood. There's 30 different clips. So even if you want to say one is a deep fake, which I don't think there were any deep fakes, even if you want to say that, there's like 40 different clips. There's like 3 a day when he does public appearances. Like, what are we talking about? So it's all gaslighting. It's all rage bait. That's what it is when it comes to these people. We also got up early for a flight. Couple thoughts. This is Dave Rubin. The debate was intentionally moved months earlier than normal to take Biden out. And this is a good point. I did not see any other people making this point. In that sense, Trump fell for it because now Newsom or Hillary or whoever they put up has all the energy and focus on them. And it's key before the DNC. Trump should have waited, but I know Trump was worried that Biden wasn't going to debate at all. And that could be kind of like, you know, an issue in terms of possibly them doing something to Trump, putting some crap onto him getting the felony. By the way, the felony charge did not matter at all. The problem is, it's just, even when they talked about abortion, Biden is so bad at communicating at this point. It's just all a wash. Like, really, it does not matter what Trump said. It's just, the guy cannot communicate. He cannot even try and, you know, if you were Biden, you could at least try and, honestly, if I was the Democrats, I wouldn't even talk about the felony because it is all come out. All the independents think it's ridiculous. It's hurt them. I would stay away from it. But even if you wanted to try and go in on Trump, you're like, this is a total clownacy. You know, what are we doing electing a felon into the White House? But obviously, you know, that's a ridiculous argument, I know. But I'm just saying if Biden really wants, but he can't do it. He's just not capable of saying things with any oomph or any power behind them, pausing at the right times. The way he speaks is he's just really old. We've got President Biden not dropping out. This came out just this morning. Of the 2024 race, according to the campaign. And so, yes, they want to give it a runway. We'll give it a few weeks. Then we'll see presidential election winner, Trump +5. He's at 64%. Biden's under, you know, this is an overreaction. I'm sure if Biden actually stays as the nominee, it'll correct back to where Biden goes to like 30%. But these polls that are going to come out over the next week, I think we might see Trump +10 in terms of general popular vote. Trump's going to be +10 in Nevada. Trump's probably going to be leading in Virginia and Minnesota. And that's when it gets really scary. But I certainly think Trump's going to get another polling boost. Remember, he came into the debate with a surge where he was starting to lead more in terms of the net aggregate with the Real Clear Politics reporting like a 2-point lead for Trump, even in the head-to-head against Biden. We do have, oh yeah, this was just so embarrassing. Jill Biden telling Joe that he did a great job. Well, no, he didn't even say the right quote. She treated Biden like he was some third grader who just did a math problem like 2 times 2 is 4. She was like, you did such a good job. You answered all the questions. And Biden's sitting there like a little giddy third grader, like just happy to be there and complimented by his teacher. So this dynamic with these two is just so weird. And Jill, people are saying Jill has all this power. I don't think so. Cuban coming out, just totally buying the narrative. It's so embarrassing. And Piers Morgan has to call him out. Just wondered if you'd like to reevaluate this tweet where Cuban says both of them have mental problems. They're both old. Basically that. And Piers Morgan's not going to have any of it. Piers Morgan, I think, he probably likes Trump at this point, from what I've seen. Calling a spade, the moderators actually did a decent job. Well, I never actually came at the moderators before this. That was other Republicans. The moderators, though, it's so irrelevant because of how bad Biden was early in that debate. Now, they did do that abortion question early, which, you know what? I'm not going to yell at the format. It's whatever. It's an issue. I get it. Whatever. New York Times opinion section. President Biden is my friend for the good of the nation. He must bow out of the race. Biden cannot go on like this. I'm hearing high anxiety from well, my God. I mean, we heard high anxiety from CNN the second the debate was over. They couldn't get back from break fast enough. And we've got John King like lasers shooting out of his eyes. They want to replace him. I have to change the narrative. 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 President Biden, it's time to drop out. We've also got this. This is Snopes again. What is this? Trump did say to his supporters on January 6th, what is this? But the statement lacked context. So, yeah, okay, so here it is. I said peacefully and patriotically, Trump's absolutely right. And then Snopes says the statement lacks context. He encouraged them to fight like hell. And of course, we all know he didn't literally mean it. That was a figurative, speaking point for Trump. Fight like hell, fight for the freedom, we get it. And then demand that Congress do the right thing. How does that equate to people storming the Capitol? Demand that Congress do the right thing. That's like saying, putting out a statement, I demand you to do something. Snopes has got to stop with this crap. Trump said be peaceful and patriotic, and I shouldn't even be talking about this. There's bigger stuff, but they try and swing it like fight like hell. Yeah, he didn't literally mean it. That's a common phrase that people use in sports. People use all the time for different things. And they know that they're playing dumb because they're trying to make it seem worse than it is with Trump. Update from this was the Democrats with how liberal Reddit is. I need a new passport. So yes, now we've got liberals. Remember 2016, they were all going to move to China. They were all going to move to Libya, and then none of them did. And here we go, more threats. Where are you going this time? Maybe you can go to the Congo this time. I don't know. It's all crap. Trump's strongest moment was when he said that he wanted Biden to be a good president so Trump didn't have to put himself through this. Yeah, that was kind of, I mean, you could kind of tell that was ridiculous, but maybe it did resonate with some independents. I think Trump's best moment was when Biden goes on this random rant. It's probably about 1/4 of the way through the debate, and Trump's like, that last sentence, I don't know what he just said. I don't think he does either. Look. He says it, and then he says, look, really fast. It was a really good time thing. Go back and watch it. This was 3 months ago with Scarborough just completely lying. He's running. Oh yeah. So wait, so they have Gavin Newsom at the debate? Now, I don't know if it is going to be Gavin Newsom, but it's like they've got him there. So he's one of their really shortlist potential candidates. And I would almost bring out DeSantis if I was Trump, or at least have DeSantis at the debate. Oh my God, we remember when DeSantis destroyed Newsom with COVID, Newsom gaslighting him, saying you're going to kill people, DeSantis saying people have freedom, we've seen the numbers, young people don't die from this, and Newsom was the one that basically created a dictatorship kind of by keeping everyone locked down because he couldn't admit he lost the COVID war to DeSantis. Trump needs to have DeSantis at these debates. DeSantis owns Newsom. It's a crazy takedown back. How about all the people fleeing California? They had the highest amount of people. They lost so much in terms of population. Florida gained the most. DeSantis wins re-election by 20 points. He wasn't incumbent, but still, DeSantis owns Newsom. If Newsom is seriously the guy, there's going to be a weak spot there. They might try and retread Hillary, though, because she's got more name recognition than Newsom. They're probably concerned it's too late in the game. Even though Newsom's been one of the more popular governors, he still doesn't have that name recognition that Hillary or Michelle or someone like that. So this was 12 days ago with Scarborough talking about how, gaslighting everyone, saying Biden's fine, there's nothing wrong. Post-debate, this is 805 independent voters. These are independents. And see, this is why CNN's poll, I think, is wrong. 68% for Trump. CNN's poll had it at like 67. So if you include all the Republicans, obviously all the Republicans, 100% are going to say Biden did horrible. And even some Democrats would come out and admit it, maybe about 10%, 12%. So really, Trump probably won the debate at like 75, 80% clip. The only ones saying Trump lost are liberals who, no matter what, Biden could have a stroke on the stage. The first question he gets asked, they would say he won the debate. That's just how partisan politics works. They launched a coup. They moved up the debate to the earliest day. Everyone's saying the exact same thing. This makes total sense. 2 hours ago, he was a strong leader. Now the entire Democratic Party and media establishment is saying that he needs to drop out. It's hilarious to see this stuff change in real time. Vivek called it. This was last November. So this was like, 8-9 months ago, Vivek saying the Democrats need to stop the farce. Biden is not going to be the candidate. And it seems like it's been confirmed. It's not totally confirmed. I guess we'll see. Maybe, again, they might try and swing it. CNN did swing it towards the end of their little talking points where they were like, well, yeah, Biden, has cognitive problems, but he beat Trump on substance. Again, totally false. You can't even understand what Biden is saying. They were like, Biden won the abortion debate. Biden during it said that I don't even know what he was talking about. There's just he just cannot talk. That's the problem. Kamala admits that Biden had a slow start, saying it's obvious to everyone. So they're just all coming out and saying it. And you also do have Chris Wallace, who's respected. This has been, quite frankly, a car accident in slow motion. He sunk his campaign, and that's why they're going to probably change him out. Politico coming out saying Biden is toast. Yesterday, he was the superhero. Yesterday, the Republicans were overblowing everything. Yesterday, it was all deep fakes. But now, we love you, Joe, but you have to step out because you're going to lose to Trump, and we're so obsessed with power. We don't care about any laws or rules. We don't care about our people actually electing anyone. That's why the last 3 election cycles, the Democrats have rigged all their primaries if this happens with Biden. If they take Biden out and insert someone else during the DNC, they're trying to really get all of the momentum with that. CNN poll, by the way, this is another thing that's wrong. The second debate in 2020, bipartisans say that Trump won that debate. I don't know where they're getting 53 to 39. It just shows you how biased it is. But the first debate of 2024, Trump 67%. I think it's probably 75, 80%. But even CNN saying 67% Trump wins that debate. When you've lost, MSNBC, obviously they were giving orders from the top Democrats, whoever, come out, get the narrative going. It can't be Biden. We love you, Joe, but you have to drop out, really, because Biden's approval rating is so horrible. And really, honestly, Biden should drop out anyways. And this is another thing. I liked this because I wanted to remember to talk about RFK kind of doing his own mirroring the debate. RFK could be huge for Trump. You're going to have a lot of disenfranchised Democrats. Even if the Democrats try and spin it and say, well, Biden, his health, we have to just replace him. It looks like, your party is unstable. You're replacing someone who's up for re-election, and you've been saying he's good, he's ready to go. You're replacing him, 4 months until the election. It's instability. And so a lot of these Democrats who are never Trump people, but they're really not crazy, leftists, they're going to start, I think, going to RFK because RFK is going to have more name recognition. The Democrats, it's going to seem totally disheveled. If you're Donald Trump, the most obvious point is, I was beating Biden in every single poll. It got so bad that you guys tried to imprison me. Andrew Cuomo and a lot of leftists have come out and say that that was a political witch hunt and it's totally illegal. Not only that, I was crushing Biden. You bring him out, you have the debate early so you can get him out in time for the DNC. And you guys think that you've ruined the country for 3.5 years, but you can just say, whoopsie, we're sorry, we're going to replace Biden now, don't disregard what Biden did, just disregard that, no, we've got someone brand new and fresh, and Trump's the terrorist, and it's horrible, and just vote for the whatever Democrat, whoever they look. So they don't let them get away with that. They know how historically bad Biden's been, and if they do replace him, it's going to be like, oh, we're resetting. That's not how it works. We don't get to reset a 22% inflation rate over the past 3.5 years. So that's what Trump really needs to say because he should control this narrative. And here it is with Jill, having to turn Biden to the side and help him get off the stage. Biden has to turn. He can't even walk down. It was 2 flights of stairs to leave the debate stage. It's so sad. But yeah, that was the last one there. So that is the current situation. Will he actually drop out? I don't know. It seems very likely, though. It seems like it was all set up. The debate was historically early. Biden demanded it to be early. Well, I should say the Democrats demanded it to be that early. And Biden, the first half, realistically, there's an easy way. It'd be hard to do it, but you could say, well, Biden picked up steam. He was better on substance, and they tried to do that, but you could start off by saying that. They didn't start off by saying that. They immediately went to DEFCON 1. They immediately went to, we love you, Joe, but you need to be replaced. It's clearly a massive narrative change. They need to get it out there. They're not going to do it immediately. They want to make it seem realistic, so they're going to give Biden another month. He's going to mess some things up. He's going to say, I love this country. I don't feel like I'm up for the job anymore. I genuinely thought I did until this moment, but I just had a appointment with my doctor. It's come out. Something bad's happened. There's going to be an excuse probably, and then they're going to have all the momentum going into the DNC. And I don't know, maybe they'll choose the person at the DNC. I think it's got to be someone with huge name recognition because of how late in the game it is. And also with RFK, he's very popular himself. So you're going to get a lot of Democrats, if it's someone unknown, switching to RFK. So that's the current situation. Crazy stuff happening, and it definitely took a turn right at the beginning of that debate. A lot of conservatives were trying to preemptively say, well, Biden's expectations are so low, he's going to overperform them. I never said that. I said Biden's just totally gone. And it turned out I was right, and Trump won the debate basically by default. I barely talked about what Trump said in this video just because it really didn't matter. But, you know, Trump at the beginning was fine. There's some things you'd like to get Trump in terms of like just data points. There's some good stuff that Trump is leaving on the table. Maybe his advisors or someone, you know, when it comes to the inflation rate, how bad it is, the immigration, Biden. I mean, you have to say, well, I guess now Biden's not going to be running. So see, this is the problem. Like, there's going to be no ammo. But with Biden, you have to say, you signed the executive order the day you stepped into office to immediately get rid of all my immigration. You had a debate with the other Democrats during the primaries in 2020 where you said, we need to bring people into the country. We need to open the border. That he said, open the gate, open the border. But obviously, Biden, he might not be debating Biden. So he's going to lose all the ammunition. There's just a few things. And at the end of the debate, you know, you get these softball questions. It's boring towards the end. I would just say just answer the questions. You don't need to keep going at Biden. The independents don't like that. It makes you look a little bit weaker. So you've already crushed Biden. When you get a question about, you know, Social Security, something like, just answer it, give a token response. Don't immediately disregard the question and then go at Biden because independents see that as weakness. Just answer the question. You've already crushed him. But it really didn't matter at that point. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.